While discussing pragmatics and semantics, it's important to see the borderline between these two disciplines of meaning. Uh, there cannot be any in-depth study about semantics and pragmatics unless we understand the difference between them and the areas where they merge together. So far, this has been a disputed territory. There are so many things which people would claim as being on the interface between semantics and pragmatics, while other researchers would call them as the domain of semantics, or some others might call them as the domain of pragmatics. And as I said, it is still a disputed territory, and there is a lot of discussion which is being generated about these areas. Overall, we can say that both semantics and pragmatics deal with meanings. However, they are considered to be different fields of knowledge. Semantics is a study of the contribution made to the meaning by linguistic items and the way they are combined in certain compositions which make sentences. Both words and their combinations in form of sentences have meanings. For example, a word vixen means female fox, whereas another sentence in front of you means snow is white. So both individual words and their collection in form of sentences or combination, they have meanings. Because words, when combined, they convey certain meanings. Lexical semantics deals with word meaning, whereas compositional semantics deals the way words are combined in a sentence, or they may also be called as sentence meanings. On this view of semantics, we can say that pragmatics starts where semantics ends, or we can say that pragmatics takes up where semantics leaves off. Semantics is concerned with the meaning at a phrase, which a phrase has intrinsically, whereas pragmatics is concerned with the meanings which are generated in a certain context by the speaker, or in other words, they may be called the intended meaning of the speaker in a certain situation, in a real life outer world situation. So both have different dimensions, though these two different dimensions may coincide to create comprehensive meanings of various utterances. The borderline can be seen at the division between encoded and inferred aspects of meaning. For example, encoded meanings are those which are encoded in the linguistic forms or structures themselves, whereas inferred meanings are those which are inferred from a talk in a certain socio-cultural or pragmatic situation. Between sentence meaning and speaker meaning, semantics may be called the meaning of the sentence, its compositional meanings, whereas pragmatics may be called the meaning of the speaker in a certain context, or the meanings which a speaker intends to convey to us. A recent view of pragmatics has described a radical literalist perspective in which they see the borderline between pragmatics and semantics as something between saying and implementing. Saying is related to semantics, and implementing is related to implementing that saying, and it is related to pragmatics. So this tells us a bit further about this division between pragmatics and semantics. Moreover, it's very pervasive and also very appealing point of view that semantics may related to saying and its structural meanings, whereas pragmatics is related to its implementation in a certain social context. It suggests that semantics and pragmatics are two separate but neighboring countries, which and these two countries, taking this analogy further, may have a certain common boundary which is identifiable, but there are certain areas on the both sides of that boundary which are disputed, and both countries have on various occasions have claims on those areas. Similarly, people studying and researching within semantics and pragmatics keep on moving from their field to the other field, and in this way they start claiming their domain in others areas. This discussion and debate will go on in the coming years also, and we expect that a clear-cut identification of the borderline between semantics and pragmatics is still quite far from being settled.